Square Enix, what are you doing? So, Square Enix is publishing the new Hitman game. Used to be Eidos Interactive, it's now in the hands of Square Enix. And they have made a really bizarre decision with Hitman, and that is to publish the game before it's finished. Hitman is apparently being launched on the 11th of March 2016, but the game isn't going to be finished until the end of 2016 at the earliest. It might take a year, so you might be looking at 2017 before the game is finished. What you're going to get on the 11th of March is the prologue and the first mission. That's it. Because Square Enix have decided to make Hitman an episodic game. And there's nothing wrong with episodic games. Telltale have been doing them for years. But the problem is that Telltale have been developing and releasing episodic games, not turning a game that was designed to be released all at once into an episodic game because you haven't finished it. This is really some bizarre AAA early access money grab. So when the game comes out, you can buy the whole thing and it's the usual $60 price tag for a AAA game. Or you can buy the prologue and the first mission for $15. Then later on down the line, if they ever do release some content for this game, you can buy the next chunks for $10 each, or you can upgrade your intro edition into a full edition for $50. So if you have faith that Square Enix are actually going to produce this game, you can spend $60 to get the whole experience. Or if you buy it in episodes, it's going to cost you $75. And of course, you can pre-order this game now. But why the hell would you pre-order a game which has suddenly become episodic and is going to take a year to release? Now, IO Interactive are really bigging up this episodic release and saying it's going to make the world of Hitman evolve and it's going to get better over time, and Hitman is actually just a platform that you will then buy all the episodes for and get to play the levels. Funnily enough, that's what the old Hitman game did, except it all came on one disc. You got to play through the levels and watch the storyline progress as you went along. You just didn't have to wait months for the next levels to come out. Look at the Telltale games. Loads of people would buy the first episode of The Wolf Among Us or The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones, and virtually no one bought the last episode. When there are new AAA titles being released every month, how the hell are you supposed to try and keep people interested in a game a year down the line that you still haven't finished? No, this wasn't the plan for Hitman. Like I say, this is just the fact that they've run out of money but haven't finished the game. So they're going to release it episodically and use the money that they get from the first part to fund the rest of it. How do we know the game's not finished? Well, they decided to do this episodic content in the middle of January when the game's releasing in March. This game wasn't even supposed to be made by IO Interactive, it was supposed to be made by Square Enix Montreal. But IO Interactive started going bust, they had to lay off a load of staff, and so Square Enix gave IO Interactive back Hitman to try and keep the studio afloat. What they should be doing is delaying Hitman until the end of 2016, but they can't afford to do that, the studio will go bust, so they're having to do this episodic cash grab and it's all going to end in disaster. When they finally do finish it and the Hitman game gets a full release, it could be a really good game, but by that point, who's going to care? But that's not the really worrying thing that is coming out with Square Enix this year. Because in August of this year, we're going to be getting Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Now, this game has already had a rocky start because of their weird pre-order system that they tried to base on Kickstarter. So they had different levels of pre-order. The more people pre-ordered, the more bonuses you got. Now, it wasn't an awful system, to be honest. It literally was just like Kickstarter. So, more pre-orders, more bonuses they gave away. People really didn't like this, I think because they didn't kind of understand how it worked. So everybody was up in arms about this pre-order system, it got cancelled. Now if you pre-order, you get everything, and if you buy the day one edition, you get everything as well. This game is by a different developer, it's Eidos Montreal, and so far everything seems to be running smoothly. But are Square Enix actually thinking that this Hitman system is the way to go? Did they actually think that episodic was a good system? If so, are we going to see it for Deus Ex Mankind Divided? Or was it just that the developer was in trouble And in that case, if there are any issues with the development of Deus Ex Mankind Divided, are Square Enix just going to turn around to Eidos Montreal and go, well, that's your problem, you're just going to have to sell the game before it's finished? I can't see what Square Enix's end goal is here. Either Square Enix think episodic content is the way to go, and therefore we might see it with Deus Ex Mankind Divided, or it was just a complete cock-up by the developer, and therefore they're having to release it episodically. Either way, it means that Square Enix really doesn't understand how bad this episodic system is. It's going to kill Hitman, there's no doubt about it. That game is dead in the water before it's released. And that might be Mankind Divided's only saviour, the fact that Hitman will fail so hard that Square Enix are just going to have to rethink how they launch games. Because so far for 2016 releases, they've cocked up pre-orders, they've cocked up release schedules, they're really doing a bad job of it. And they're supposed to be a games publisher. So, Square Enix, get your act together, sort out your games, get them released properly, and stop dicking around.